Hi, everybody. It's still July 31st, 2024. I'm just trying to squeeze in my 10,000 steps before midnight. I fell asleep after dinner and I spent the morning doing laundry, and I got a lot of steps in going up and down the stairs to the laundry. So I've been posting, this is a video journal of my recovery from the trauma of watching my brother be killed by Burnaby General Hospital. My younger brother, 2-year younger brother with Down syndrome, Paul Kierans, and I visited, we grew up together. I taught him to read and write, the only word that he could read and write, and that was his first name, Paul, P-A-U-L. It took me about a year to teach him that as a little girl. And then I initially went into a career of working with mentally disabled adults. And then I went to law school and practiced law for about 16 years before I myself became disabled with a mild traumatic brain injury. But Paul and I visited at will until September 12th of 2022, when his group home administrators L'Arche, L'Arche, a cult. This is a worldwide cult started by 2 sex predators, Jean Vanier, a Canadian retired naval officer, and his sidekick, a defrocked, excommunicated Catholic priest from France, Thomas Philippe. These 2 guys started group homes around the world. They caught on like wildfire, and they acted like they were Catholic saints, when it turned out that all along, for about 40 or 50 years, they preyed upon the workers at these group homes, and that was not discovered or disclosed until 2019, when Jean Vanier died. He was about to be appointed the Order of Canada before he died and before this came known. So L'Arche is just like any other cheap cult. It preys upon people's respect and reverence for the Catholic Church. It's not a branch of the Catholic Church. I don't believe that it is supported by the Catholic Church, and it is supported by the BC, British Columbia taxpayer. And I believe they were paid about $25,000 a month for my brother's care. And I was his last living family member and visitor, and they cut off his visits with me as I said, in September of 2022. For 588 days, we missed 173 scheduled visits. I went to the Supreme Court of Canada twice trying to reinstate his visits. And what I'm trying to do now, he died. He had a stroke on April 13th of 2024. I was not advised of this for 2 days while they waited for my 81-year-old nun sister from North Bay, Ontario, who had a forged and fraudulent representation agreement over him. I fought to set that aside, but I was not successful. So she flew in from North Bay, Ontario 2 days after he had a stroke. Now, this is the reason why this is the first time in British Columbia history that a person outside of British Columbia was appointed as a guardian of an incapable adult in BC. And this is exactly the reason why this should not happen. And the courts have been correct in refusing to appoint outsiders, non-residents of BC, as guardians of incapable people in BC. What I'm trying to do now is change the law in BC so that guardians, in British Columbia they're called committees, guardians and conservators, people who have control over incapable adults, are never allowed to unilaterally isolate and confine them from their other loved ones. This was in the United States. 22 states have adopted adult guardianship reform, and it's called Peter Falk's law. because Peter Falk, the actor who was the star of the long-running detective series Columbo, his second wife would not permit his adult daughters to visit him after he had a stroke. And they never were. His adult daughter, Catherine Falk, was never allowed to visit her father before he died by the estranged second wife of Peter Falk. So she started the Peter Falk Foundation and has been changing the law across the United States to adopt adult guardianship reform, in particular that guardians of incapable adults are not allowed to isolate and confine them from their other loved ones. My sister is I never lived with her, I don't know her, and I'm estranged from her. She has never contributed anything whatsoever to my brother's care or upbringing or well-being, and she gave his entire inheritance to L'Arche, and I complained about that. So she was estranged from me, and to retaliate against me, she cut off his visits with me, and I was not able to restore them. I couldn't afford a lawyer, and she spent, I estimate, about $300,000 on lawyers. She had a law firm in Ottawa and a law firm in British Columbia working for her. They spent, as I said, I think she spent about $300,000 in tax deductible, because she's she works for a charitable organization, which is the Sisters of St. Joseph of Sault Ste. Marie, that are in North Bay, Ontario. So what I'm trying to do is change the law so that guardians, even if they're legally appointed, cannot isolate and confine incapable adults from their other loved ones, which they often do as a retaliation measure, as a way of getting back at family members they don't like, which is exactly what my 81-year-old nun sister did with me. So anyways, that's it for today. I've got to get back and finish my 10,000 steps before midnight. Take care, everybody. Paul, I miss you so much. I miss you every day, and I think about you every day, dear. I hope you're having fun in heaven with Harry and Murray and Teresa and Mom and Dad.